All right, let's get right into it. We're going to explore this really powerful idea today. How do you find genuine inner peace? Well, it might be simpler than you think. It all starts with looking at the beliefs that are secretly running your life, maybe without you even realizing it.
So let me ask you something. Does your mind ever feel, I don't know, like a really noisy apartment building? You know, the kind where you just can't get a moment of peace? Well, what if I told you that the loudest, most obnoxious tenants in that apartment are actually your own unverified beliefs? They're the ones just shouting over everything, drowning out your own inner wisdom.
And that brings us to this core idea, this thing called secondhand living. Think about it. It's when your life is basically run on autopilot by all these beliefs you picked up along the way, from your family, from society, wherever. But you've never actually stopped to question them. And over time, these quiet little beliefs, they build up and become your ego. And that's where so much anxiety, conflict, and suffering really comes from. This next quote just perfectly captures the danger here. Girish Jha put it this way: belief makes you ride a train without checking the destination. Wow. I mean, think about that. We just hop on board, assuming the train is headed somewhere good. But so often, we're on this unconscious trip straight towards suffering, all because we never once stopped to ask, hey, where's this train even going? Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's not about adding more rules or beliefs. It's about a fundamental shift, a total change in perspective. It's about moving away from that narrow, self-centered view and toward a much, much broader awareness. And you can really see the difference here. On one side, you have that me-centric mindset. It's totally focused on my peace, my needs. It's driven by the ego, and its main job is to constantly justify its own beliefs. But then you shift over to all-centric awareness. And suddenly, it's not just about me anymore. It's about peace for all. Instead of defending beliefs, you start questioning them. And that simple shift, that's what helps dissolve that feeling of being a separate, deluded self and fosters a real sense of completeness. All right, so that's the what. But now for the how. How do we actually do this? Let's get into the practical tools you can use to actually build this inner peace for yourself. The whole journey really kicks off with one single, incredibly powerful question: why? The first tool is just that, inquiry. You just start asking why over and over again about your own thoughts, your own reactions. When you do that, you start to poke holes in your own programming. You begin to see the difference between who you really are and all the conditioning that's been piled on top over the years. And then there's this really simple but honestly profound meditation practice. It's just 4 stages. First, you just become aware of your body, where it is, its posture. Easy enough, right? Second, you turn your focus inward, just finding a sense of comfort and steadiness. Now, step 3 is the game changer. You become a totally carefree observer. You just watch the mental traffic. The thoughts just go by without getting involved. And when you do that, you get to step 4, where you realize something amazing. Peace was there the whole time. You find it the moment you stop running from your thoughts. And to help with all of this, there are some really specific breathing techniques you can use. We're talking about things like ribcage breathing, belly breathing, and then a combined version of the two. And look, this isn't just about simple relaxation. These are seen as a direct way to actually purify the mind. You're influencing your nervous system and literally clearing out the mental clutter. Now get this, you might think this takes hours and hours of work, right? But the suggestion here is that just 9 minutes of consistent practice a day can give you a lasting mental clarity that carries you for the entire next 24 hours. So it's not about some huge, daunting commitment. It's about small, consistent effort. That's it. Okay, this all sounds great in theory. I get it. But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's hear from some people who've actually put these ideas into practice. Let's take Christina Rago's experience, for example. She found that even when things felt totally chaotic and busy, she could find pockets of peace just by repeating affirmations, telling herself that she is peace and happiness. And the key thing is, she wasn't changing anything on the outside. All she changed was her internal perception of all that busyness. And here's a perfect example of how this plays out in our day-to-day relationships. Vaibhav Saxena talks about this moment where he was about to react, just escalate a situation. But then he remembered the teachings, and instead, he chose to communicate peacefully. He realized in that moment that he had a choice he never even knew he had before. Wow. And this is really powerful. Stephen Stackle, after years of practice, describes this state of deep meditation where he said there were no thoughts. It was just following along. I mean, can you imagine that? It really points to where this can lead, to a state of peace that's so profound, your mind is finally free from all that constant mental traffic. So, what's the end game here? Where does all of this practice and awareness lead? Well, it's not about becoming dependent on some system. It's about empowerment. And honestly, this might be the most important takeaway of all. The goal is not to blindly follow a teacher or some rigid system. The goal is to use these tools to awaken the teacher that's already inside of you. It's all about building your own independent reasoning so that you are the one in charge of your own mind. So let's bring this all home with a direct and personal challenge for you. Just for right now, forget everything else we've talked about and just ask yourself this one thing. What is one belief you're carrying around, one piece of that secondhand living that you could start to question right now, today?